Good evening, everyone. Yeah, thank you so much. If you are seeing this video, I'm just trying to, to be able to fast track our learning. Yeah, to be able to fast track our learning. So that is why I'm making this video. So please try and watch this. So I'm doing basically to introduce us to, Photoshop and at the same time graphics designing. So this is an opening to what we are learning in particular. So, and if you're not seeing this and you want to continue with us, I'm very sorry to say you might not be able to get most of the things we'll be saying. So, this is the information I'm passing now. So, all right. So this is Photoshop. If you can see my screen now, this is Photoshop, and this is basically our tool or our workspace, or if you can call it your office. Like my own, like what I'll say now is that this is a whole complaint for me, because this is what I use basically for every of my tasks. If you have seen my pictures, if you have seen my designs, this is where I use. And if you have seen my videos sometimes, yeah, I don't make my videos, most of my videos here, but when it comes to animation, so I animate a bit on Photoshop too. Yeah, there is Adobe Animator too. So what you can use for animation, but you can also use Photoshop, to make some other things like that. If you want to make cartoons or some oil paint effects, you can use it on Photoshop. So it has a lot of things you can make do with. Yeah. So but basically what we want to do here is making use of Photoshop for designs. And so that is why we've been able to join or have an access to the creative class or the creative design workshop that we are in currently. So this is Photoshop. If you have installed it and probably you've after your installation you've launched it, you will be able to see what I have here on my screen currently. So this is the interface that welcomes you to Photoshop. Yeah, so you might be asking that what's next after what's it called? After you opening your Photoshop. So that is where I'm going to explain what we are dealing with itself. So we want to look into graphics designing. I explained earlier that graphics designing is a means of communication. Yeah, is a means or an art of communication. So you by combining typography, color, um, imagery, and some other elements like your icons and the likes like that. Whatever means you can use to communicate that information to your audience. So that is what we call graphics designing. And the use of all these things that I mentioned to pass the message, like your typography, your color, your image, and some other element that I mentioned is actually what will bring us into the design principle itself. But this is an introduction to graphics designing, and also you don't just know an introduction to graphics designing. You need to know some types of um graphics designing that we have. We've seen a lot of people today in today's world whereby I laugh a lot when especially when I get on LinkedIn and some other platforms like that I see people you know separating things from each other. Yeah, it is good to have a different field, but these people that are separating things, if you are to check into them, they are bringing mostly everything together, and everything is called graphics designing. If you are calling yourself a creative designer, you are doing graphics designing. If you are calling yourself a brand identity designer, you're a graphics designer still. So, but these people are separating it just probably because of their business or probably what they are good at. But that does not tell them that they cannot do everything together. So, graphics designing, the type of graphics designing that we have, we have we have motion graphics. Yeah, motion graphics is part of graphics designing too. We have brand identity and guide design, branding. Yeah, so it's also part of graphics designing. We have print designing. That's your means of publication or printing digital materials like your novel or some other material, probably some material like souvenirs and printable materials. That is what I'm trying to communicate here. So don't mind the way I'm talking, please. Just try and get everything I'm trying to say in this video, so you'll be able to understand what we are trying to do in particular. So I'm talking about graphics designing, and this is the light of what we need to know to become a graphics designer. If you want to become a graphics designer, it is not only about the aesthetics or maybe bringing the colors alone. You need to understand what graphics designing is itself. You need to understand it, and that is why I'm bringing this to us for us to understand. So um we have, I told us that we have branding, we have what's it called, we have some other things. Sorry, let me bring out my material. So I said we have branding and visual identity. We have um UI, web and UI UX design is also graphics designing. So they develop websites, applications, and interactive interface. That's UI UX. If you see them, they are also graphics designers. I told you that we have motion graphics. Yeah, that's where you see people animate or videos. They create digital medias. So that is motion graphics for you too. And also we have publication designs. That is where I talk about printable materials like your magazine, your book, or your editorial what's it called, editorial layouts. So let me put it like that. That is where we have it like that. So, and also this is an introduction to our softwares. Do you know that we don't have Photoshop alone to design? We don't have Photoshop alone to design. So I really want you to get that we have other means of designing. We have people that make use of Canva. We have people that make use of sorry. We have people that make use of Photoshop. We have people that make use of Adobe Illustrator. We have people that make use of CorelDRAW. We have people that make use of Pixel Lab and other platforms like that. But what we are basically treating and what we are basically using is Adobe Photoshop. And I'm trusting God, if we are able to, fast track some things, that we should be able to treat Adobe Illustrator. But I am not sure we are really prepared for that. But let's trust God if we are able to meet up with, learning that, or we are able to prepare the software or the setups before we, so you'll be able to get that. If you want to create icons, if you want to create some other things, or you want to create logo, that Adobe Illustrator is basically used for that. If you want to create logos, um perfect designs, or all this 3D work, and so you can use Adobe Illustrator. You can use Photoshop too. That is why Photoshop is, Photoshop is more like a general software. All these things, you can edit pictures, you can create 3D what's it called on it. And that is why it is an heavy tool. If you are to check, while you were installing your Photoshop, if you are to check, you will see that your space has some particular what's it called, it has a large form of file, like on your hard disk or your space. But after you install Photoshop, you open it, you're going to see that, or probably when after you opened maybe a Canva, you see that it takes some particular space on your what's it called, on your space, your PC. So that is why Photoshop is an heavy tool. you need to have a good PC before you can make use of a Photoshop. You need to have a well is it yeah, a good PC. What When I'm talking about good PC, we are talking about the specification of that PC. We are talking about the specification of your PC. So you need to have at least, and with the current setup or the current Photoshop we have in today, like we have today, before we make use of CC, we make use of CS, we make use of Adobe 7.0, those softwares that can work with, probably Windows 7 and the likes like that. But now we are in an advanced world, and Photoshop, you need to install it on, let's say, Windows 10 and also Windows 11 currently. That is what Photoshop takes, especially when it comes to CC. So this is 20. The current software I'm using now is 2026. It takes at least within, okay, let's say it takes even Windows 11 to install this thing. And if you are not having a good PC, I'm very sure that you will not be able to enjoy this software, even if you are able to install it. You will not be able to enjoy the software. That is why your PC must be good. You must have a good RAM on your PC, or your PC is a dedicated PC. It must have a dedicated graphics. I hope you get what I'm saying. So, that is it. So, I'm talking about the tools. Yeah, Photoshop. Sorry, graphics designing is not only done on Photoshop. It is done on other setups like CorelDRAW, Pixel Lab, Canva, Illustrator, and just name it. InDesign, Adobe InDesign, and the likes like that. So um that is what um graphics design is done on. It is not only on Photoshop. Please try and get that. Graphics designing is not only on Photoshop. So, but what we are basically using, the tool we are basically using now is on Photoshop. So get that, and work with that. And also, please, I would like us to get an advanced knowledge. What I'm teaching us here, you know it might not be enough for you, so you should try and get a like more information on what I'm talking about here. But I'm very sure that I'm updated with things, and I'm giving you the right information. But I would like it, in fact, myself, if I have someone that teaches me something today, I would like to make research on it, and that is what I will advise everyone, and even those that have learned from me. That is what I've been advising them, and I see them doing great with things. So this is a privilege now. So please try and get things or more information about what I'm teaching you guys now. What I'm teaching you guys now. And please don't mind where I'm giving my speech. The basic thing there is that just try and get what we are talking about here. So that is it. So I talked about the tools or the softwares that people use, in making designs. Yeah, I didn't mention Figma. I Figma is used to create UI UX design, and also graphics designing to those that are, that are expert on it. So that is that. So I would like to introduce us to the software. So I have the software here, Photoshop, and that is what we can see on our screen. That is what we can see on our screen. So I think after introducing us to Photoshop, that is when I'll be able to bring us, to understand the principle of designs, where we talk of our hierarchy, where we talk of our um, contrasts, where we talk about our white space or negative space, and the rest like that. So yeah, there are principles. See, graphics designing is not hard. Yeah, it just takes principles, you know, to be able to achieve um a well designed what's it called? A well designed output, designing output. Yeah, we see different designs today. We see different design. If your design is not coming with principle, is not with a good principle, you will not, in fact, you in particular, you not be able to enjoy your designs. So that is why you must put your layout, or you must composition everything well, and that is it. Generally in media, everything is all about compositioning, or your layout. Yeah, to be able to be perfect on things. Like for instance, you want to print now, or the way you see most of the printouts, just because it was laid well, that is the reason why they have the output like that. So, and that is basically what graphics design entails too. Your layout, your composition. So you need to be able to use your design principle well. If you are able to, if you can chew your design principle, swallow it and know it very well, you'll be able to, give designs, perfect design. Perfect design. If you are here, you want to make use of design on your own, just for your own brand. Yeah, this is a means for you to know and learn. Know your principle, know your design principle well. Once you know your design principle well, you will be able to do even what a graphics designer outside cannot give to you. You'll be able to do it, or probably you give your designs to people. You'll be able to have a good eyes on designs. That's okay. You did this well. You actually did this well on your principle. You are correct with this. And if your designer is not correct on there, you'll be able to correct that designer. That's okay. Do it like this, do it like this, and that's the perfect thing. So that is it. So I'm welcoming us into the software itself. This is Photoshop, as we can see on our screen here. This is Photoshop. Sorry, my screen is actually here. So, but my camera is here. That is why you can see me facing this side. So just focus on the screen. Focus on the screen. The everything is showing together in the screen. So try and focus on the screen. And so sorry that what's it called? This is actually live. I'm recording live, and that is why you can see me talk like this or not edit. This is unfiltered. So I'm just giving you live and direct. In fact, I'm not using material mostly. So I'm just trying to give you um information direct. So just take it like that. All right, so this is Photoshop. You've launched it. I hope that everyone here knows how to launch a software or a setup on your PC or even on your phone. So you are welcome here. So launch your Photoshop wherever you are. So this is a space where you can your this interface that you are looking at now is where you have your work done. Yeah, where you have your work done. For instance, probably you've opened an existing file, or probably you have a new file that you've opened and you've saved. It is going to appear on this interface directly. So now this is more like a welcoming thing to Photoshop, since you've not opened it before. But I've opened it before, but I had to clear things so that you guys will be able to understand what I'm trying. So I'm trying to balance things together with you. So I'm on the same level with you directly now. I'm on the same level directly with you now. So um this is the interface. When you have your work done, everything you are doing, this is where it is stored. This is where you meet. This is your menu, where you be able to pick your your work done. Yeah, more like a start menu. This is your start menu, your interface here. So since we don't have any work done here, so the next for us is probably to open what we have, probably a PSD file that we have. So these are my designs, actually the design that I've done. So probably we'll open one of those designs. Okay, maybe I should try and open one for you. So in case you have a PSD file, Photoshop file is saved in PSD. So if you see any PSD file, so just know that they are Photoshop files. So this is one of my work, one of my design. It is yet to be printed. So it's a recent design. So and it's a book we are working on currently. Sorry, my PC lagged. I need to be patient. It's loaded. Um, I'm live recording, and at the same time, I'm working on it. So it will actually take up to that. It is expected as that. Yo, all right. So this is my design. So and this is well lit now. You can see I made use of my designing principle here. So you cannot see this design outside, and you know they'll tell you that this is rubbish, this is not rubbish. Yeah, you can ask people, or probably you have a professional on your side, you can ask them, this is not rubbish. I'm making use of my, I made use of my design principle rightly. I made use of my design principle rightly. And if you're a print designer, you'll be able to know more when it comes to publications like this. So you can be looking at it. Why is this front page not on the left side and the back page on the right side? You know, you might be asking that question on your own, but that is not what we are treating here today. So I just showed you how to open a PSD file. I just showed you how to open a PSD file. So, and that is it. So what we are going back to now, okay, can you see now that since we opened the PSD file, it is showing here already. So if I want to have access to this file again, I can open it directly from here instead of going to open. Instead of going to open. So I can open the file directly from here now, as we can see my icon on it. So that is it. So what we're trying to do now is we want to open a new file. We want to start from scratch now. So that is what we are going to do here. We are starting from scratch. So this is a new file. You want to open a new document, a new Canva, a new workspace, or whatever you want to call it. We have people calling it different names, but we have this is our new document. So we want to open a new workspace, a new document, a new Canva. So I think I should open a square size, So we are working with inches, as we can see. Okay, let me introduce us to everything we can see here. So this is as we can see here, we see recent what I opened before. I cleared my file. You would have seen my presets, what I work with when it comes to maybe social media designs, when it comes to book designing, when it comes to jotter designing and the likes like that. You would have seen it here. But I had to clear my Photoshop so you guys will be able to understand what I'm teaching in the class directly. So that's a big thing on my side. But actually, I really want you guys to grow and also know what we are doing here. So that is what I'm doing. So as we can see, we see recent, and this is what I've opened recently. We have saved whatever, probably a preset that you have. Oh jeez, we have to continue this later. Thank you.